G'day folks, in this video I'm going to be unboxing what I think is the Pentagram. As usual, it's packed really nicely by cubes, which is of course where this comes from. Let's get rid of that box as always. And you can see there's a couple of tears in the box again. I doubt, well, I don't know how that happens actually, because I'm sure it's not from the factory. But here it is. This is the thing that I believe is in here, even though on the Cube's website it is called the Starminx 3. You can see that that is subtly different to that, which is a Starminx puzzle. So let's hope that that's what it actually is. And thanks again for Cubes for sending this over for me to review, for your pleasure and for mine, of course. Very, very kind of them to do that. Let's have a look and see if it is in fact what I think it is. And it's not stickered, so it's not super easy to tell, but we can compare it with this sort of thing. First of all, we can say, are there actually extra pieces? And you can see that it's quite a different, definitely a different puzzle here, because firstly, if I look at this thing here, which is a Starminx, and the pentagon there facing upright, there's an edge at the top. If I do the same thing here with the pentagon facing upright, there's certainly not an edge. It's differently dealt with. And even the sticker pattern here, you can see those stickers, even though they might look sort of similar initially, you can actually see that there's an extra sticker sitting here on top of where that edge is. I don't know if that makes sense. It's hard to show on a puzzle that's unstickered, but as I said, they've called this the Starminx 3, which is a little bit confusing because on the Twisty Puzzles forum, the Starminx 3 is a completely different puzzle, and all the Starminxes look like this. This one, I think, is a corner turning Starminx. I haven't really played with it that much. It's a little bit stiff still, but you can go a little bit stiff. Well, slightly better. You can see that is exactly what it sounds like it should be, a corner turner. This one is the face turning Starminx. That's been broken in well and truly. That turns pretty nicely. And there was a Starminx 2, which is an edge turner. I don't even think it's been mass produced. I certainly don't have it. So this is it's a re-release, in my understanding, of the MF8 Pentagram, designed by Eric Virgo. And if we just have a quick look here on these stickers, you might be able to see that's Eric Virgo's name there. And some of you may remember, haven't I already done an unboxing on this? Yeah, I did about 10 years ago. And I remember ranting and raving about the issues that that puzzle had, which was when you turned it, sort of some of the pieces caught with some of the other pieces. And I was, wasn't super happy about that. So I'm very interested to see if MF8 have fixed those issues here or not. But I'm so beside myself with rage now that I just don't know what is going on. And I had a look at that video earlier today, and I remember going, I don't even know how to turn it. It wasn't a face turner, so it doesn't turn like that. It was in fact a corner turner, and it does turn like that. Now you can kind of hear a little bit of clicking there, but I tell you what, just initially it does seem better, although it is catching there. It is catching there like that. It's hard to say. That's just one. Let's try another one. You can see that's slightly sticking up. I don't know why. That's where you tighten everything. But let's try another. It actually seems pretty reasonable until it gets caught. And you can sort of see there, that's it's not actually the issue before. The issue previously was these corners here were slightly sticking out, and it just caused things to catch where they shouldn't. At the moment, that's not actually what's catching. You can very clearly see there what's happening. So I don't know if that's going to be a case of a little bit of lube will help this or not. But in any event, it doesn't matter at the moment because it's not stickered, which means I've got to contact my daughter. I don't really sticker things. I'm not very good at it. She's fantastic at it. So that is what I'll do, and get this thing stickered and come back with more of this video. Well, the second half of this video is brought to you by my mug that I got from a student a few years back, and the mug says, "Always right." I love this mug because as you drink it, you can see in there it says, "Yes, always." I guess they figured me out. It's got a nice bit of coffee in there at the moment, but let's get back to this thing. You can see this is now beautifully stickered. Now, it was a joint effort of stickering, I have to say this time. How we shared the work was my daughter did all the colourful stickers you can see, and I put the MF8 and the Eric Virgo sticker on. So definite joint effort. You can see why I get her to do it, because I couldn't even get this MF8 sticker centrally located on that centerpiece. It's kind of that way. Well done me. So beautiful puzzle now that it looks stickered. It is a lovely, delightfully, aesthetically pleasing puzzle. So I think last time, this is a few days ago when this happened, we were looking at the turning and I was talking about this used to be released earlier, so I was wondering if it was any better, and it did seem a little better. So what I want to tell you is that I have not put any lube onto this at all. This has just come straight from the stickering factory at my daughter's house, and I'm just turning it now. I don't think the turning's like, it's not going to be any better than it was, but having a look at it again, it does seem okay. And I'm not going to try and convince anyone that it's perfect, because I don't think it is. I'm just more concerned with whether we're going to have catching, and I'm going to test that by scrambling this thing. Before I scramble it, I just want to point out that this is a jumbling puzzle as well. So how does it do that? Well, we know that these things turn. If I can get one that turns reasonably well. That one seems maybe a little bit tight. I can hear the catching a little bit. Maybe it just needs to be broken in. See, now that's okay. So if I'm turning it, I might even turn one where I don't have that same issue. Maybe that's better. Maybe none of them are better and they're all going to do that. I don't know. But yeah, certainly not trying to hide what could be a potential issue. This one doesn't seem too bad. So they turn like that. Now, if I want to turn, say, one of these, I'm thinking, where can I turn this so that another one will also turn? So we go around like this and we're looking for the cuts to line up. And the first stop you might look at is here. And I'll just have a look. Is there anything possible? You can sort of see maybe there's lines there, but that doesn't work. This one here, no, that doesn't work either. I don't think. There might be something over here on this side, because they all look not too bad, but I don't think this is actually far enough for any turns. Ah, I lie again. So there's two ways you can do it. One is I just turn it that far, and you can see that's sort of lined up to there. That's lined up to there, and there's the cuts on the left, and that will jumble away to its heart's content. Let's see if we can do a full turn here with that. If I continue to turn, so I guess I've got one corner on the left. I think if I turn the next corner on the right, then it's going to jumble on this side. So as far as I know, that there's no other. So here we go. I'm having a little trouble getting that little piece past here. So I don't know if I've just got to move that out of the way, or if that's going to be an issue all the time. I'm not sure why it should be doing it. It's sort of, you can see it's pointing out that way. If I push it in, it seems to be okay. I'm also not sure whether it will get better over time and whether a little bit of lube would help as well. So as I said, what I want to do now is just scramble it up and see how it goes with just initially. I just want to do 180-degree turns, give it a good scramble with with no jump. Did I just say 180? I don't think I know anything. My brain has turned to mush. I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that if this is going 360 and I've got to do 1, 2, 3 stops, then each of them must be 360 divided by 3, which, give me a minute, carry the 1 minus my grandmother's age, 120. Let's go with 120 degrees. That's what is going on here. So I just want to do 120-degree turns if I can, and we'll see how it starts behaving as more and more faces get turned. You sort of might see some of them seem to be fine. Some of them don't seem to be catching and they just turn as I'd want them to turn. Others having a little bit of an issue. So I'm just always with scrambling, I'm trying to say, what do I need to turn to separate bits? So that green layer there we go. I can turn that one away. Same sort of thing here. That can be turned. That's generally what I'm attempting to do. It just takes a long time for me to think about stuff these days. So I'm going to just keep doing this with no jumbling. And just jumping back in here, you can see it certainly is looking more scrambled. It is slightly harder than I thought it would be to get it really nicely scrambled. So everywhere I look, there's these bits of the same color pieces together. And I know theoretically how to do it, and I'm assuming that it is possible to separate all pieces which share a color, but that may not be true. I'm not really sure how I'd even tell if that was true. Just again, having a look at the turning of this particular face, well, not face, vertex, I suppose I should say. That went okay. That's plonked a little bit. Let's keep having a look here. Where can I separate that? What have I got to do for there? I must, hang on. Is it that one? No. Is it, oh, I don't even think I can think what I've got to do to separate those two. They clearly can be separated. So why has my brain switched off here? They can't be separated. Let's move on. What about, I don't know, anything else? I've got to get this. The only possible thing, I can't turn that one. That doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. That, oh, it's this one here. See, that was much easier than I thought it would be. I think I am living proof that the brain does slowly shut down. Which one was it again to get that away? Can't remember. One over here, I think. There we go. So I've actually got to turn that one. Cool. All right. So it's looking reasonably scrambled. As you can see, that's much easier than I thought it was. How can I be so dumb? Let's keep going. Nearly pretty good. I mean, I'm probably happy with that for a 120-degree scramble. Let's see if I can just get that. Maybe this last purple piece there. Looks really nice, doesn't it? You can see it's a beautiful cube. I really like the stickers on it, and they're the right sort of colors. Love that dark blue. And let's now have a look at, I mean, the turning, I would say it's improved a little bit, having done that, but it's only been a few minutes. My guess is that after a few solves, the turning will continue to improve a little bit, but I'm not sure that it's going to completely get perfect. So I reckon a bit of lube may be called for. Now, one of the things I was interested to see was, have they redesigned the puzzle so that it's a better puzzle, so it turns better than the previous one? I think they have made some changes, because I was having a look at the video that I made 10 years ago on this when they released it then, and it was pretty bad. This does not seem in that same category. So this definitely seems better, but perhaps there's something in the mechanism or the way the puzzle is that I have no clue about that means you can't stop this catching. I don't know enough about that to determine why, but you can see that there. I want to turn it. It's just something, I can't even see what that is actually that's catching. But as long as you remember that you're potentially going to have this sort of thing, it's definitely not a speed cube, but it is a beautiful puzzle. So I'm certainly going to recommend it, with the caveat that you've just got to be aware of it's not going to be absolutely perfect turning. Okay, let's see if I can do a little bit of jumbling, and I've got to remember how I did it. I'll turn it like that. That's right. So that kind of went to there, and then this part. Now, I guess in terms of the jumbling move for a puzzle like this, I'm not entirely sure what it would be. Let's say I just want to swap it without shape shifting. Would I go something like up to there? Honestly, I don't even know. It must be something over the other side. I would assume. That's going to turn there. That is definitely going to... Is that one? No. So if I turn that, the problem is it's never... Oh, hang on. No, I've got no real clue what I'm doing here. I'm not sure. On the curvy copter, you can kind of do that jumbling move. It's all this stuff. You can do that jumbling move where it'll return to proper form without being shapeshifted. I'm not exactly sure how to do that. I'm pretty convinced you can. I just don't know how. So let's see if I continue to take that over to here. What would I do next? Maybe turn it around to there. Does that? Yes. That will go there. That will turn to there. Now where does it go? Does that one move? It looks like it should, and it should actually break that apart. If I've got any... Yeah, it looks like it definitely should do that. All the cuts are lining up fairly nicely, I think. Hope you can see what I'm talking about here. That all around there, maybe it's that bit. Maybe that needs to be a little bit further there. Oh, hang on. Doesn't actually completely line up, does it? Interesting. I was fairly convinced that that would separate them, but maybe it doesn't. But clearly there is a way to separate them. So let's see if I can find that. Having said all that, I'm not even sure that I can now return this to... How do I need to do it? You can tell when my brain shuts down because I just kind of stop talking. I want to get that. That's not going to do anything. Wow. Look, you can see what's going on. I can't jumble it properly. I certainly have shown that it does jumble though. Not a bad puzzle. Just be aware if you do buy it, you're going to have potential issues with a bit of catching, but it's certainly not the worst thing I've ever seen. I hope to be able to get it to a nicely jumbled state soon. As always, thanks for watching.